Hi there, welcome to the latest breaking news on the Noah Presgrove case. It was brought to my attention yesterday that an individual supposedly posted key evidence on Facebook in relation to September 4th, Monday 2023, depicting and showing the highway where Noah Presgrove's body was found and who else was present. Now, as for the details behind it, supposedly a witness saw it themselves before the video was taken down shortly afterwards. They've given a description on Facebook. They've also handed it over to the FBI, supposedly. I'm going to present it to you today as proof so you can see it with your own eyes. As for the worded description of what was shown within the footage. Now, is it worth getting hyped up about it? It's uncertain at this moment in time because the real question and mystery is, who was the one to have posted that video in the first place, and what was the reason behind it? Were they teasing, playing mind games? Have they deleted it since from their device or wherever they've got the file at? And as well, the person who uploaded it, was it the same person that recorded it in the background? I believe some person in the background mentioned Kaden Pressy's name. I don't know what's going on there, but welcome to anyone that is watching right now. Share your thoughts and opinions, such as in the comment section down below, your reaction to this news, whether you agree or disagree, believe in it or not. And if you do have any questions regarding it or anything else about the case, let me know down below. Can always respond back later. You'll also find a pinned comment by me down below if you want to support this channel. And shout out to the individuals recently for becoming a member on my channel, and such as Christy for gifted memberships, Watch Your Crazy, etc. If you do want to catch up on my recent coverage, which is just as important and critical, such as last night's and the night before, well, top right corner of the screen, click on that eye symbol. You'll find my full playlist, which covers all the videos in one area. And you'll also find the link to my previous video. Make sure to check it out. You don't want to miss it. As of right now, though, without further ado, let's get straight into this Facebook post and see what went down as of yesterday. Here we are, posted 17 hours ago by Michael Fazekaz, saying, will the owner of the video please post it anonymously to my page, I guess on his Facebook page, or send it to my Dropbox? The right people need to see it. LE authorities, FBI, are aware it exists and need to authenticate it to make sure it's 100% certain. Interesting. Oh, here we go. If you have it, you know what I'm referring to. My email for Dropbox or Google Drive, listed down below. So this appears to be somewhat serious. And let me just make something very clear. When I saw it at the time and it said the video, I was completely confused. But in the comment section, it does clarify what's gone on. But let's just check this quick update. I just spent the last hour on the phone with my local FBI office who took all the information regarding the video and its content. Hopefully, this will spark some action into getting to the truth behind this. Okay. Now, take in mind, where's the FBI within all of this? Have they been quiet? Have they done much since? I don't know. But it was said, and it was backed up by one of the family members, that the FBI have come on in, stepped in to assist. Not to take over, as some of the podcasts have claimed out there, but just to simply assist. Kind of like a Dylan Rounds situation, right? How much of an impact will they have on the case, I wonder? Now, granted, there are a lot of comments. We're going to go through them bit by bit. I don't know about all of them. There's 171, but let's look at the most important stuff first. So Michael here says, the video that clearly shows officials at the scene of Noah's body unofficially, the video that breaks the narrative being pushed by certain families, the video that shows Noah was wearing black shorts and them being removed by law enforcement. The video that shows that Dawn, whoever that is, was not even occurring during the filming of the video, which changes the entire timeline. The video that shows people at the scene hours before 911 was called. This is why I called it the video, because if the person reading this had the video, they would know what it meant. Right. Okay. You're saying that the person who has the video could be the same one that recorded it. Now, anyone watching right now, what's your thoughts on this? I mean, the most interesting thing is, it kind of ties in with Kaden Pressy's statement. Kaden Pressy said when he got down there, he saw Noah was wearing black shorts. And then after that, fast forward onwards, once he left, once the body was eventually taken away and the autopsy done the following day, and as recently, when we looked at the autopsy report documents, it stated that Noah was naked, no shorts on him. And if you remember, just a couple of days ago, I did a comparison video saying, well, what Kaden says could well be the truth, and what the autopsy report says and the officials could well be true. There must be a middleman, a factor in between, which altered the scene and reinforces Kaden Pressy's statement of the body being tampered with. Now, I myself, let's be realistic here, and you can check back word for word, I myself said, is there a possibility that the police were there before or just after Kaden Pressy got there and was sent back, and then the police decided to possibly take the shorts off, bag and tag them? Now, how it's been portrayed here in a more suspicious way, maybe corrupt, okay? But in terms of who is supposedly responsible, it looks like I might have got it correct. Very interesting, my theories and ideas, because you do get some people out there that downplay them and say they're pointless, but look what we've got here, how it's supposedly been backed up by this hidden leaked footage which surfaced online publicly for a short period of time from the looks of it, and that Michael has been a witness to seeing it in terms of being able to describe it. I want to know your thoughts down below, because there was discussions in the past by people online saying, is there any more footage during or after the party? I remember one commenter saying, I'm just surprised no one decided to take a photo or record the scene of Noah's body, you know, because of the way people are nowadays. Well, from the looks of it, maybe that person was right. How it's been worded here seems to be the case. But yeah, breaks the narrative pushed by certain families. Who's that pushed by? Stevie Howard's family? Caleb Newton, Jack Newton's family? I wonder. The video that shows Noah wearing black shorts on the side of the highway, removed by law enforcement. Why would law enforcement remove his black shorts? I wonder, in a suspicious way or not. The video shows that dawn was not even occurring. When you say dawn not occurring, I'm assuming dawn means time of day and not the name of an individual. I could be wrong. It's happened in the past, right? During the filming of the video, changes the entire timeline. Right. So you're saying it different time doesn't tie in with the timestamps given by other people. What? Such as Jack Newton, maybe. The video that shows people at the scene hours before 911 was called. So before 5:53. 5:53 is when the truck driver came by and saw the body and called it into the highway patrol. So before 5:53, people were already at the scene. That's very suspicious, right? Because as I told you in my previous videos early on, that anything before 5:53, if anyone was present at the scene, passing by or stood nearby, and because they didn't do anything about it, is very odd and suspicious. Now, what are the reactions? Is there any additional information and context? That's what we need to do right now. Obviously, a lot of comments, reactions, wow. I want to know who the person is and why they wouldn't share it if they weren't guilty of something. Well, they must have shared it in order for someone like Michael to have described it, right? I mean, it's kind of weird. If Michael is saying, could you reach out to me privately and send me the video? And before that, Michael already knew about it. So was it posted directly on his page? Was it posted directly on the Noah Presgrove's Army Facebook page? And then it was taken down very quick. That's a possibility, right? I said, Some people might get hyped. Me, I'm maintaining a neutral baseline for now. I identify and acknowledge that if the footage is true to exist, it's very, very important. And based on the description given by Michael, who appears to be a witness to viewing that footage, temporarily or so, yes, quite interesting. But the important thing is trying to retrieve that video. And it might mention it lower down, but there was a commenter that said, there is one person that probably does have it, but they blocked me and I can't reach out to them. I wonder who that could be. Anyway, Michael responds saying, I don't want to say the name of the person. There's a lot of people who know who has it. I don't want to put them in danger. But I do know with 100% certainty that law enforcement knows that they have it. But are law enforcement going to do anything about it? Because take in mind, it was speaking about the LE, it was talking about the highway patrol, the authority within that area, and the LE assigned to that case. Should you rely on law enforcement taking action about it? If there is an innocent person out there that has vital evidence which actually incriminates possible authority, won't the LE try and silence or dissolve and remove that video so it doesn't make them look bad, so it doesn't harm their credibility, right? Because if families in the area and party goers and ones connected to families can supposedly pay people off or silence or threaten others, what do you think the authority can do when they have even more power and connections with some of the party goers or friends, family members, adults, etc.? Got to be very careful. The FBI, though, shouldn't be dodgy, right, in general. So the information should be passed to them first before the likes of the normal LE. Interesting. And like how Michael said, he's reached out to his local FBI office, so hopefully that leads to something at least. But yeah, the LE may know who has the footage, but what are they going to do about it? Are they going to take action for the right reason or the wrong reason? Who knows? Okay? And if they are like officers and dodgy people there who were at the scene removing shorts, why and where were they taken? Was it clearing up evidence? Tampering with the body like Kaden Pressy stated? The way Michael words it here though, saying, I don't want to say the name of the person who has the footage or posted it because it would put them in danger. I've got a decent idea who it could be, right? And maybe you do as well. Because how many people directly within the case have been in danger or been seen or alienated from the rest of people, right? So it seems like it's going in a certain direction there, but there's no need to say the name because what good does it do? But how it's been worded here, that the person that has the footage isn't dodgy or isn't suspicious. To say you don't want to put them in danger would mean that you care about them. And if you care about them, then likely they are somewhat innocent and genuine. And how many are like that within the case? That's how you can narrow it down. But let's not skip ahead just yet. Melanie, what? Okay, if law enforcement knows they have it, why don't they have it? If you know who has the video, then tell LE so they can contact the person. Why don't you contact Robin, the aunt, and let her know the information, or even Noah Presgrove's sister? Then they can tell the PI. You can't just let this simmer. So obviously people are going to get passionate and start questioning a lot, and that's very normal, that. Candace, law enforcement removed his shorts, left this poor beaten boy naked, tampered with a scene and evidence that could have held DNA. When officials can be paid off, that's when they prove to the community that they are no good for it. The good old boy game stops when kids are being murdered. Whose child will be next? Yours? Mine? Well, it depends if you got one. It's time to stand up and ensure some changes are made to stop all these corrupt people. Tracy, you seen it yourself or just heard that it exists? Yeah, that's a very important question, right? Have you seen it or have you just heard about it? And Michael says, I don't want to say any more than I already have. I debated whether or not to make this post. I'm going to the local FBI office to show them what I have. So basically what Michael is saying here, that he probably has seen it, hence why he was able to give a detailed description of what was within that content and footage. My question is, how come only Michael saw it? If it was posted on Facebook publicly, or even the Noah Presgrove's Army page specifically, how come no one else caught wind of it? Did no one else get screenshots, right? Because you know how people can be online. All it takes is one little photo to flick up for a couple of seconds, and then it's instantly documented and archived. But were people quick this time or not? I agree, this case doesn't seem to be going anywhere. Candice, just means we have to get a little louder. Labour Day is approaching. Anniversary. I wonder if anything will come out of that. Marking 1 year and no justice. Yep, I think there was a gruesome video of Noah's last moments on Earth, an ensuing gossip machine, right, Michael? How many people can be seen on that video? Right, also because we don't want people to think that there is a gruesome video. We don't want, right? So it's like the after effect. I agree, what happened to Noah will not be swept under the rug. 4. Nat. What does Nat say? How many people can be seen in the video? So this is supposedly, in terms of the video, at the scene of the highway where Noah's body is. Got officials, police, removing shorts off Noah's body. So it's like the after, post-death of Noah at a certain time in the day. And Michael says, within this hidden, leaked footage, 4 people can be seen. Now, who are those 4 people? Well, at least one of them being one of the officers, police people, maybe a second one as well. Who are the other 2 people? Well, someone recording it behind the phone, and then a person stood nearby. Jack Newton? I wonder. Mel, whoever is on that video will obviously tell us a lot. Oh, here we go. Michael says 1 police officer, 1 volunteer firefighter member, and 2 plain clothed. What does that mean, 2 plain clothed? 2 plain clothed? Is that farmers? General public? I wonder. But to have 1 police person and 1 volunteer firefighter member, if the police person and the firefighter member just so happen to be those related to families tied up within this case, that's very convenient, isn't it? Michael says, plus Noah was in black shorts. His family needs to give it to FBI, I agree. Michael, this has happened recently, right? So what I want to know is how much more evidence do these guys need to start making and arrest at least 1? It's almost been a year. What in hell have they doing the whole time? Just like everyone else, I've been waiting and praying for a breakthrough in the case, and it'd be so helpful if someone could just come forwards with what they have or know as far as evidence, proof. Yeah. The person who has it has had it for a while. The family needs to let the FBI know. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory that the person that's got it, or even the true origins of the person that recorded it, whether it's the same person or not, would have had it for a while, because it was recorded September 4th, 2023. 8 to 9 months have passed by, so of course they've held on to it, or someone has at least for a while. Has it been distributed and passed around in the background to anyone else? I wonder, who knows? Jamie says the family needs to let the FBI know about the video and contact them if they haven't done so already. Do the family know, though? Were they told already about it? Not sure if it was a good idea putting this out, as it puts people's safety at risk and can give them a head start to cover this up or to get the video destroyed if they're able to, but at least everyone knows it exists. This all needs to be reviewed before confirming. Sound a bit dodgy. I know everyone is tired of the lies, rumours, punches to the gut. I mean, is there a very small chance that the footage could be old footage in the past of somebody else found on a highway? I mean, let's just be realistic. When it's come to certain footage online and people have linked one thing with another, like with some of the partygoers crashing a car or damage to a car, but it occurred years back, but people were saying how it links to Noah Presgrove, but it didn't, because clearly the dates didn't match up. Or even the likes of Kaden Pressy, where someone linked a TikTok video in relation to Kaden Pressy saying, your house is flammable or something, I'll burn it down. And yet that was in 2013, so it's not exactly relevant to the case, is it? Now, That's why dates are very important. Ellie doesn't care when they're trying to cover it up. Tracy, I agree, first to take it to someone of either FBI or OSBI. I also agree with your comment on making sure that the person or persons who have the video remains safe, as well as the actual video, of course. I think that if nothing was to become of this video everyone is talking about was to be viewed by maybe several people from this page or family members, and the more people who have seen it, the better the chances are that LE would absolutely have to take action with the said video. People in question can't just threaten harm or do bodily damage to the whole army, just what I'm thinking whilst reading the original post and all the replies. I know my comments might be where they... Okay, it doesn't really matter. Right, can you post it without showing that person's info? What, post the video? One of the person who has the video cannot lie about its existence due to his/her involvement in the case. So how did this video get leaked out? How did you find out there was a video? Key question, right? Hopefully there's a response. Jamie, also, if anyone is hurt that is speaking out and telling the truth, the FBI is going to know who have had a motive or reason to do so, and because the person caused the person harm or wants to silence them, and thus they will be the first subjects that the FBI will be looking at and investigating as suspects, so not likely they'll get away with harming the person they want to silence who is exposing them in the truth. I mean, look, take this as a fact. My channel, my coverage on the case, I'm not even from the place, I'm not even from the US, and yet there's been attempts to silence me, and I'm far away, okay? I'm not boots on ground. I didn't have this key footage right now, yet if someone like me can be silenced, or at least attempts in doing so, then just think about the people closer to the case trying to shed light on it. It'll be a lot harder for them and more intense. Yes, I know, plus a recorded video, and so they obviously have a copy of it and can't claim they don't. Right, okay. I would say Dalen, since he's been the one that has been talking to OHP. However, they do encourage anyone with information to contact LE. I would contact the FBI, not local LE. Of course, if the local LE are supposedly corrupt and you tell them about this damning evidence, which could make them look bad, well, they'll probably definitely take action, but for the wrong reason, and try and get rid of it. Yep. We know the local LE is not the best. Yep. Corruption runs deep. It seems to run deeper than the pockets, but no one would listen. Then we wonder why LE receives no respect. Right? I suspected this from the first time I heard of the horrible loss of Noah. Just for clarification, twilight or dawn? Will Michael respond back to any of these questions? Why hasn't it been sent to anyone in LE or anyone investigating? Did you see this video for yourself? They should release the video anonymously to press, and then it's out there. No one can deny or hide it. But would it harm the case? Would there be a negative on it, then? I definitely think you should do that. I wouldn't advise you to give it to anyone else. Even the family at this point have doubts about some of the people claiming to want answers, but they're not really trying at this point. Oh, dodgy. Do you know who was filming? Candice. We need to see if his family is planning something, at least all gather in our Noah attire where he was found, or maybe with posters, and do a walk for Noah. Right. Renee, different one. That would be so awesome. Okay. Dawn, oops. Right, dawn. That morning? Early, really early. Not quite the time of 5:53, but before. As Kaden Pressy has always stated. What, dawn? I pray this person made copies of the video before handing anything over to anyone. True. Right, so we had a few responses there. 50, we got through them fairly quick. Call Ellie and give them the info on this particular person. Let Ellie get to it. We'll try and whiz past it quickly. Yes, law enforcement is aware. But is the local law enforcement aware? Is that what you mean, Michael? Because if they are, isn't that a bad idea? Because if they are a bit dodgy, or if some of them are a bit dodgy, they might go above and beyond to try and remove that evidence, may even silence the person that's got the video. They have the video. Shouldn't be too hard for FBI to track if this is really true. Did you see the video with your own eyes? It's a shame Michael isn't being more cooperative in answering questions. Derek says, if law enforcement is aware and is also aware of the name of the person who recorded the video, there's nothing else anyone can do, and law enforcement has to obtain such legally. Oh yeah, Derek, he's the prat that was whinging and whining and making false claims about my channel. Pathetic individual. Donna says, the ones who investigate corrupt LE is the FBI, so they need to know what LE is doing so they can be held accountable. All you have to do is call the FBI and speak those handling the case. Michael, in response, more than one person has the video. Oh, do they? LE needs the original to verify metadata. That's what is needed. Okay. Well, at least the positive is that there is like multiple copies. So if one was to mysteriously vanish, at least the other one is relevant. But I do understand you need the original video because it will give the original date. Because sometimes you can alter, you can edit a video, you can change the date. Sometimes if you create a new draft or save a new copy of the original, it changes the date as to when you edited it, when you I adjusted it. So the original is definitely needed for it to be relevant to September 4th, 2023. Michael, the video can be used in court regardless. Chain of custody applies to the original video. Whoever has the original unedited version needs to send it to them. I'm 100% certain it's real. Right, so you're 100% certain it's real. And you seem 100% certain it's at the scene of Noah's body. But you've not said whether you've watched it or not. And your response is, I can't say too much at this time. Well, from the looks of it, you've said enough already, so it would imply that you have watched it. Okay? Yes, one name. Right. So to say the original one, original unedited version. So does that mean the version that you saw, Michael, was the edited one? So the individual that has the edited version, why? Why was it edited? How was it edited? Was it trimmed down so you only see a portion of the video? Was it filtered? Was it blurred? Right? Why would there be a need to edit it? Or do you regard an edited video as a secondary one and not the original copy? I wonder. What else? Have you seen it, Nat? I didn't see where Michael said he saw it. My question is, have either of you seen it with your own eyes? Nat, I cannot speak for Michael. I have not seen it, nor do I want to see it. This information of a video comes from a 150% reliable source who relayed the information to a couple of people in the army. We know of at least 2 people who have the video, the original version and a taped version. The name of the person not wanting to share/release the video is known. So, of course, it's very understandable that the majority of the public would be very skeptical of this. And if the insiders get triggered by it, tough shit. It's what happens when you can't release that much information at this time. But you've also got to understand that the general public, because they don't have the full context, they're not going to know as the ones with the insider information. So there is a bit of a divide. Maybe with time it can be explained better, clearer. Could the footage be released? Maybe, or maybe to an extent where if the body's in the background, that bit's blurred out with a box, but everyone else is seen visually. Interesting. Who do you trust? I'm assuming LE then has both these names and have secured the videos through a warrant. I don't know. Why does something tell me that incompetence could happen? I don't know. Jamie, can't trust anyone, sadly. This needs to go straight to the FBI, but it's nowhere near Oklahoma. Fair point. Who will investigate the investigators to take over the case, probably to the media as well, for the best chance at good outcome and for transparency. Those involved to be held accountable, to be no retaliation or anyone's safety being put at risk, and for Noah to get justice. I mean, whilst you can't reveal the name of the source, the individual that has the video, and then the other individual that has the other one, the other version, what about those within the case? What about the other party goers? What about the parents of some of the party goers? Are they aware of who has that footage? Because even if these people's names are kept private, if the key people on the inside and those as the opposition know regardless, people's lives are at risk anyway, aren't they? Nat, I think the intent or fear is for this video to be deleted forever. We started working on this letter for a massive reach, remember that? And this information came about from a source who can be trusted. I think this new effort led by Michael is to put pressure on those people for them to know that now it's not just perhaps 2 to 5 people who know about the existence of this video, but Noah Presgrove's army and the family page. And yes, calls have been placed with FBI, but frankly, if some of you warriors are willing to call FBI, ask for an agent working on Noah's case, tell them that you heard about the fact that there is allegedly a very condemning video out there. I think it could help tremendously. Obviously, what would also help tremendously if people actually saw the video for themselves. And yes, maybe it's not possible, but for that true transparency, that true understanding and the depth behind it, once you've seen it, you have a better idea. If you're speaking on behalf of it, it's not quite the full circle, is it? This one. Nothing can be deleted forever. If the video is real and they know who took the video, even if they delete it, they can get it. And anyone who has the video and didn't turn it over needs accessory charges. Of course, those that recorded the video, right? So you're saying at least 2 people have the video footage. How did they get hold of it? Did one of the 2 of them there at the time recorded it? Because if they did, does that make them suspicious? If they've withheld it all this time up until recently, it seems like you're delaying the case, delaying evidence. When did it come about? Well, Michael said just recent. How come no effort was done way back in the past then? If this video footage is of September 4th, 8 to 9 months have passed by, why is it taking this long just to pop it here or pop it there? Why wasn't it done in the background much earlier on in the case then? Okay? Or is it the matter that these 2 individuals that have the footage have only got a hold of it in recent time? And if they did get it in just recent time, where did they get it from? Who did they get it from? And the who, were they the one that originally recorded it then as the true original footage? And if that's the case, what made that who individual decide to reach out to 2 other strangers and say, here's the footage, if it was on that basis? Many questions, not enough answers. Nat, we may never see this video. I don't want to see it. Okay. They could show the video, but just blur out the body, right? So then you get to see other things, not the disturbing part. But at the very least, the word is out now about the existence of the video. The word may be out, but in terms of the trust in believing it, could be difficult for the general public if people have trust issues, if people have been screwed over in the past. As for me, I've not really been screwed over in this case because I've not been around long enough. It does sound interesting, that video, and the potential meaning behind it, but because I've not seen it, I'm a little bit questionable about it, right? It is what it is. But if it's reinforced in the future, well then that's obviously going to be a good thing. Nat, I myself do not know of took it. You mean you don't know who took it? I do know who has a copy of it, allegedly. Well, that doesn't sound good. You say 150% credible source, or someone else did, and now you're saying allegedly. Bit uncertainty, switching and changing with language. And this person, when subpoenaed, cannot lie on the stand about its existence. Okay. I'd absolutely not want to see that video either. Take in mind, when it came to the Dylan Rounds case and that time-lapse footage, which was eventually retrieved from a forensic dive analysis on Dylan's phone, which previously dumped in the pond, and whether the video was deleted or not, the forensic team were able to get a hold of it, which is very critical, right? They were still able to find it, despite what Bren did to the phone. And that time-lapse footage, the family saw it themselves and described it within the Dylan Rounds case interview, East Idaho News. Of course, people in the community were skeptical of it. Not everyone believed it, and others were trying to tell a narrative, a different one, because they're plums and idiots, prats, right? But I believed in it. and it made sense and it tied in with the timestamps. Was the video ever released? No, never. But was it used in court? Did it come up in court? Yes. So it's important, and it was official, and it was true. Can the same happen here? Maybe with time. Trust is the issue about who to share it with. Fair point. Who can we contact then? Can someone post contact info? Right. Submit tips, big tips, little tips. They all go a long way. Why would anyone be so cruel and callous to sit back on a video? Yeah. Secondly, this video will show up on the GeoNet that they are working on to retrieve all pics, videos, snaps, Insta posts during a certain time period. Question. Let's see what's mentioned here. Michael, it was a secret recording documenting a crime in real time. No one knew it was happening. Right. Well, the person must have knew it happened when they decided to hit the record button, right? What other reason would there need to be to record the scene, okay? Let's say you are one of the party goers, or you're at least someone that knows Noah personally. Are you going to whip your phone out and decide to say, right, I'm going to take a video of my friend's dead body? Likely, most of the time, no. You'd be too upset to do that, unless you noticed something that was odd, out of the ordinary, and then you decide to hit record and think, you know what? This could explain something. I might use this for later. So someone must have knew what was happening in order to then hit the record button for possible evidence in the future. And if that's really the case, a secret recording would have had to have happened way back then on the day, 8-9 months ago. But why is it taking this long then? Anyway, Candace, if they're not going to use it to help Noah get justice, what was the purpose of taking it? Yeah, surely they're not going to try to blackmail for monetary gain. Yeah, so if it was a secret recording based specifically on not knowing, right? Or, what was it? Knew it was happening. Okay, so now it gets a little bit more odd. So you're saying an individual was at the scene. You're saying there was 4 people, 1 police person, 1 volunteer firefighter, and two clothed individuals. Are the 2 clothed individuals unrecognisable, that they could or couldn't be party goers? Maybe. Could one of the 2 clothed individuals have done that secret recording then? But why would they do that secret recording? Because they've got a little fantasy when it comes to dead bodies? Because they want to take it as a trophy themselves? What would make that person innocent then? And if one of the individuals there, such as one of the 2 clothed individuals besides the volunteer firefighter and the police, was recording it at the time in a hidden way, a hidden recording, what would be the other motive for it? And then what would be the motive to keep it on their phone or on their device for forever how long? Then what would their motive be in terms of passing it on to other people in the background then? Because, you know, doing a hidden recording because you're witnessing something corrupt and you're doing it discreetly makes sense. And then if you use it for the right reason shortly afterwards by passing it over to the right people and authorities and maybe even informing family to get justice as soon as possible makes total sense. But 8 to 9 months have passed by and supposedly only recently it's come about this. So what's the point in sitting on it all the time? Right. What else? Why would anyone sit on pertinent evidence like a video that would tell the real story behind Noah's murder? Me personally, I don't feel that the video footage is going to tell the whole story, but it's definitely going to fill in a grey area, and then you can work from there. People, we live in an effed up world with effed up people, and the effed up people keep reproducing, creating more effed up people. Break the cycle. Simple as. Jamie. Because they are protecting themselves as local LE as part of the cover-up, there's local LE in the video. Also, the way Jamie's wording it here is as if she knows. Have you seen it as well? Unless this person's just relaying the info from what Michael said in the other comment thread, maybe. They witnessed a real crime in real time occurring with local LE involved. Therefore, the video needs to go to the FBI, not local LE. Of course, it's pretty self-explanatory, isn't it? Who already was told about it. Know about the video, continued to cover it up, covered for the local LE involved in the cover-up and for those responsible for Noah's murder and cover up. Michael. Apparently, it's been shown to local law enforcement and they're pretending like it doesn't exist. Wow, what a surprise. I mean, who would even share key evidence like that to the same, supposedly, dodgy people? And even if the LE weren't all dodgy and it was just some within that were dodgy, well, they're going to get wind of it. They're going to catch on. Silly, silly, silly. Okay, but from what Michael said, he reached out to his FBI office, local one. So he reached out to the right person first. But as for the LE knowing, that should have been tried. Well, there should have been an attempt to keep that in the dark because the LE could be scuttling around now. You never know. Some could run away. Who knows? Candace. I'd be sending it to Partners in True Crime for Rob and Cindy to get into the correct authorities. Okay. National news. But if it does reach national news, surely there needs to be a bit of media and video proof to tie in with it. Because normally when news do the coverage, they do show footage or a portion of it at least. Not all the time, but I've seen it. I pray the person who, with the video, doesn't get scared or delete it. You know what would be the most common sense thing to do, just to at least preserve the existence of some of the footage, even if it's edited? If the individual is that scared and terrified for their life, they might as well just repost that video privately to another person in Zimbabwe or Uganda, providing they can trust them, right? You know, pass the video about, if you're able to people that you trust, people that may be in safer conditions, people that may be further away. So, if this edited video does get deleted by the scared individual because they've been threatened to keep quiet or just threatened to get rid, well, they can get rid. And then they are safe as an individual, but then there are many others in the background that now have it. Pass the parcel. Is that passing the responsibility and the danger on to others? Not quite, because other people could be safer, better off, not known. Those that are known within the case, partygoers or not, can be targeted. But someone who hasn't been heard of before and isn't even involved in the case but has the key evidence, more practical. Of course, if we're speaking about the original person with the original recorded video, because they recorded it themselves, of course they need to keep it. You start passing it around there, it's more second, third hand, third party, and it's not as realistic. Okay. Jamie says the FBI was notified about the video a few weeks ago. Oh, okay. But it's only been posted just now, as if it's just happened just now. What? This is weird. So hopefully they already have the video. But this is my concern, that the video will be destroyed by those involved, or because the person who recorded it, life is at risk now, or that the person who recorded it is killed and/or house burnt down, so it doesn't expose those responsible for Noah's murder and cover up, including LE. Thankfully, the FBI can still recover the video even if it's deleted. Whatever the case, just takes longer. Also, the FBI is definitely in those groups once they start investigating, right? Right, okay. I agree, the FBI can put them in the witness protection program, which I think they should. They could, well, we did talk about one individual previously, didn't we, about are they or should they be in witness protection? I think most people said yeah. They can't even call local LE to help protect them. True, in this case. Further, too many lives are going to be over as they know it, and they have everything to lose if exposed for their part in the case, which means they may be willing to do whatever they think it takes to not be arrested or held accountable. Yep, they may also destroy other evidence too, and it gives them time to get their stories, timelines and defences straight and get a possible alibi. Or they may go on the run now that they have heads up. They know that it's only a matter of time before arrest, and they have a head start and may never be found too or incarcerated. Yeah, it can have a knock-on effect. Pam says, so then why wouldn't the person who initially recorded the criminal act not take it to the FBI? I guess where I'm confused. Fair point. So a few questions or points mentioned here. Number one, they took the video because they obviously knew what was happening wasn't okay. True, right? If the person is genuine and innocent, the only reason why you would record a footage of a dead body is because either you're some kind of professional media representative or news journalist, article person, documenting as things go along and you've got clearance to do it. But the fact it's been worded that the person did it in secret or hidden, like how the guy who talked about it in the first place mentioned, well, what other reason why they would be recording it? Because they know Noah or they know the situation is wrong, so they're trying to document it. But why have they just sat on it? So yeah, I understand that. Number two, they showed it to local law enforcement who recorded it, I assume, and then realised local LE wasn't doing anything because they were covering for a fellow officer shown in the video. Number three, they weren't scared to take it to LE initially, so why won't they take it to the FBI? Is that how it's been worded? That the original person that recorded it has shown it to the LE? I don't remember it being worded like that unless there's been a misunderstanding. I mean, if I be honest with you, just on the conditions in an alternative scenario, if the person who recorded it, okay, they recorded it because they noticed something was odd or suspicious within the people that were around, such as the police guy, such as the volunteer firefighter, right? Where they have a hand in the case or protecting one of the family members or friends that they know who's tied within the case, who was also a partygoer and a witness to last seen Noah Presgrove, a person of interest. On that basis, it seems like you've got a naive individual, local maybe, recording it and then thinks, oh, maybe I should reach out to the LE, the same people who are also supposedly dodging the area, but I'm not going to think like that because I'm not thinking in general. Bit too naive. I mean, if it's a small community and people know one another, then they should know who to trust and who not to. So it'd lean more likely towards if on the basis that the original person recording the footage, which showed incriminating, damning evidence of those involved in the case, covering it up, tampering with a body, that the one that recorded it is reaching out to the same LE dodgy people to say, hey, look, I've just caught you in the act, just wanted to let you know, in case you need to delete the footage, in case you need to clean up, and be made aware that there might be other people that know as well. That's how it comes across in a way on that condition, but let's just continue reading. Number four, did they tell the two soldiers in confidence because they're friends? Soldiers? What are we going on here? 5, does Noah's family know about its existence and how long have they known? And 6, lastly, with this many groups and people discussing this case and all of the attention it's getting, how in the hell has there not been one single press conference or update? If this video is real, then shit needs to hit the fan and completely expose those involved in messing with the crime scene. For fuck's sake, people need to do their damn job. Once again, there are no replies, I don't think, and this is what the problem is. There'll be many questions, not enough answers, there might be some Chinese whispers, and then it'll get out of hand, out of proportion, and it'll be a confusing mess. I just want to say that as a heads up. Is anyone to blame? Not intentionally. If you don't get answers, and you ask the wrong question, or you've worded the situation incorrectly and it's not been cleared up, then people are going to get confused. Marcy, I thought Jason was out of the country. Who the hell is Jason? Jason Voorhees? Michael, and now the lawsuit threats come in. Just wow. Nothing in my post could be construed as libel or slander, but it didn't take long to stir up the feathers of those who have information they're withholding to make threats. Truth equals defense in libel and slander for your information. 9 hours ago. So the original post was 17 hours ago, and as of today, in the morning time with the UK time zone difference, Michael has said, lawsuit threats have come on in. Okay. Lawsuit threats. Are they by the individuals who were caught in that video footage? Is it certain family members within the Noah Presgrove case? Very interesting, right? This is on a much more severe level in comparison to when I did my coverage on the case, which then led to me being silenced and people trying to report my videos. Here, something very important has been talked about and described to a limited extent, and with what's followed with that has come more threats, but legal ones. Interesting, right? So for threats to come on in must mean you're on the right pathway in terms of truth. Now, sometimes if you don't have all the evidence, you don't have enough clarity, you don't know what to trust or what to trust, well, if something pops up, evidence is talked about, a photo or something very limited is presented or hinted at, and it follows with major resistance, could well be a sign by it is the truth. Not 100% of the time, but it can happen. Jamie, knew that was coming. That's their MO. Candice, ignore the empty threats of the deep pockets and continue forwards with any information that you may have. You're being a voice for Noah. Are they going to sue all of us or just slowly pick our children off one by one? It's time for the mystery deaths to stop and children to be safe. Murderers do not deserve to be living free as they do. Right, so we're talking about keep children safe. Does this all link back to the Caleb Newton Warwicker Lake accident in 2020 in which the girl, 7-year-old, mysteriously fell into the water behind a boat propeller and was chopped up and killed instantly? Is there a link? What else? Melanie, exactly. Why are they wanting to hide evidence? Don't they realise that makes them look suspicious? If they truly have nothing to hide, they shouldn't be hiding videos, pics, or threatening behaviour. Exactly. Mentioned that last night. Endangered themselves. Why would someone threaten a lawsuit when no names were given? Yeah, you didn't even say if it was local VFF or LE. Yeah, in your post or answers to questions about the video, why would someone threaten a lawsuit if they're not guilty and have nothing to hide? I mean, this is the thing, right? Just saying volunteer firefighter, normally it's obvious that a volunteer firefighter tends to be a local within the area, hence volunteer. Just like with, what was it called now? Was it Red Rock Search and Rescue in Las Vegas, Nevada, volunteer groups, etc., things like that, it's locals. LE, law enforcement assigned with a case, because within the area, roughly, kind of local. So it's self-explanatory, but because specific words weren't noted, you shouldn't get in the same trouble as if you was to use them. So I understand, but it clearly shows that those maybe threatening the lawsuits in the background know that people are on to them, so they're still getting defensive anyway. Post those threats and I bet they back off. They're basically fighting for their lives, just like Noah tried. But we don't know if Noah did try fighting for his life, because if Noah Presgrove was ambushed, he wouldn't have been able to defend himself. If you think about it, when Noah Presgrove was being slapped in those party footage videos, he didn't fight back. Now, yes, that was play fighting and it was casual and he was not threatened at that time. But if he's drunk, okay, his reaction time slowed down. If, for example, that forensic anthropologist, that coroner expert former said, based off the injuries sustained to Noah, he didn't brace for impact. So it could be the same as if he was being attacked or beaten, he didn't brace or didn't cover himself up, maybe. Anyway, right, what else? They can't see if it's the truth. I mean, this is 3 kids who've lost their lives who were affiliated or came in contact with the 2 suspected families. We cannot allow that number to continually grow. 3 kids who lost their lives affiliated came in contact with those 2 families. To say with those 2 families, you're basically talking about Caleb Newton family and Stevie Howard's family. Pretty much, right? That's how it seems to be. Now, who are the 3 kids that have lost their lives? Well, Noah Presgrove, 1 in 2023, September 4th. The next one, 2020. I can't remember their name. Was it Harkin? I don't know, I can't even say their name, but it was a 7-year-old girl, okay? 2020, boating accident as it was treated. Mysterious as to how they fell in the water. Caleb Newton was the boat operator and his breath smelt of alcohol. Recklessness, who knows? Who is the third kid that lost their lives who was in the presence of either Stevie Howard's family or Caleb Newton's? Does anyone know? Is it that ATV accident in which some guy, Herrera or whatever, died? But what age was he? Was he a kid or fully grown? I asked for a link, but no links have been given. No news reports have showed up. So why is that? And as well, yeah, we can talk about kids of certain different ages because, to be honest, Noah Presgrove wasn't a kid, really. An adult, okay? So maybe wrong language used here. 3 individuals of a youngish age have lost their lives. That's probably the better way of putting it, I'm assuming, if that's what Candice is referring to, including Noah's name here. If not, well, then it'll be 4 people then. But, you know, what we need to acknowledge is, from what's been said, now I couldn't access the court case, the documents, because I'm outside the US and they're awkward, but the OSNC or something, when it came to the Caleb Newton situation with that 7-year-old girl boating accident in which the girl lost her life, fell into the water mysteriously, hit the propellers and died that way. The family of that girl had a second kid on the boat. That kid was okay, but obviously would have been traumatized by what they saw. What did the family do, though? Well, originally, the family were friends with Caleb Newton. After it, they remained friends, from the looks of it. But that aside, more importantly, there was some kind of lawsuit or something in which money came about, or was it insurance, one or the other? $100,000 was given to the victim family. Okay, the family who lost their 7-year-old girl in that boating accident received $100,000, and after that, everything was all a-okay. So even the victim family could be considered a bit corrupt in perfectly accepting money just like that and getting on as normal after it. Not normal, is it? So you can say that 2 families are caught up in the deaths of multiple different people, but the ones that have been paid off to keep quiet or to be happy and move on, they're just as bad as well. But that gets under the radar, doesn't it? Melanie. Oh my gosh, yes, I remember reading about that young kid, Caleb, that disappeared. What? What are you on about? This case is just shady. Not shady, that female blonde at the party, but shady, dodgy. Gowed. Is that how you say it? Gowed? Yowl? Something like that. I just can't shake the feeling that something isn't right. I mean, I'm well aware cases can take some time to be solved. Sometimes Ellie might drag their feet on purpose if there's corruption. And I know every case is different. But take, for instance, the Jocelyn Nungary case that just happened. That only took maybe a few weeks to solve, and there was a lot less witnesses. Fewer witnesses means less information, but less witnesses equals less confusing stories, right? You think of the Noah Presgrove case, all those partygoers, all with individual stories which may connect or go against one another, and all the voices as well which follows. It's messy. It's too full. Now, Melanie says, and the suspects that have now been arrested were not even from America. They were illegals, and LE still managed to catch them and make an arrest. Why is this case taking so long? I feel like there should already have been some solid information, but are not doing crap about it. I mean, when you look back to the fact that there could have been some kind of search warrant on the party house, because that was the last place Noah was last seen at, and the knowledge of underage drinking too. There could have been some kind of search warrant implemented by the local LE, the highway patrol, whoever, to head on down to the house. They did not. They didn't check, they didn't search. So from the get-go, there was limitations, there was missed opportunities. And was that done for a main reason, in a corrupt way, or just laziness? Let me know. I wonder who made the threats. I guess the people, I would say, is it possible that the people that made the threats of the lawsuits are the same people that appeared in that secret video recording of the highway? Well, they deserve to burn and rot in hell. Okay. It's because the LE here are criminals too. They don't want this case solved. I mean, how can anyone not at this point look how it was handled? True. Look at the Dylan Rounds case as well. Now, it's interesting, with the Dylan Rounds case, the LE weren't corrupt, they were just incompetent. But how they treated things was just as bad, if not worse, than the Noah Presgrove case, because it went on for 2 years. And they could have even prevented the death of Dylan Rounds as well. That's how shocking the Dylan Rounds case was. So you could say Box Elder Police Department, Box Elder Sheriff's Office are just as bad as the Oklahoma Local Police LE, if not worse. And if people find it hard to believe, you need to head back, you need to look at my 496 videos of the Dylan Rounds case, and you'll know. Candace, no. LE does not want attention brought to Noah any more than it has to be. Sounds like Colt Haynes and Molly Miller is another LEO cover-up from close to there. I don't know who they are. Update. I just spent the last hour. So this was 10 hours ago. It's a bit later than this one, 9 hours. So before he got the threat, the lawsuits, Michael said, I just spent the last hour on phone with the local FBI office. Oh yeah, he included that in his post. Yeah. What else? The ones who investigate corrupt LE is the FBI, right? What's this? I agree. I've contacted Oklahoma Attorney General Office. FBI has knowledge of the video. They don't exchange info back for me to know if they actually have the video, but they've been made aware. In fact, they're probably reading this message as I type it. Ooh, okay. Does that even exist or just rumored? Yes, it exists. Have you seen it? How can you confirm its existence? Do you see a pattern here? Whenever anyone says, have you seen it? How can you confirm it? And Michael says, either I can't say too much at this time, or just doesn't say anything at all. So maybe it's true. Michael can't say too much because he doesn't want to harm the case, of course. He doesn't want to endanger himself any more than he is already putting himself out there. Yes. But surely you can also understand the other side of the general public who may start getting a bit skeptical and backtracking, maybe, if things aren't answered. Anyway, George, there are people who shouldn't be sharing these details with people who are big mouths and then go make these posts. It does more harm than good. FBI had already been contacted numerous times in the last couple of weeks regarding this video. Oh, so more people knew back then. Well, I didn't see it pop up any time in between. So it doesn't need to go on radio, Facebook to give everyone the heads up. Just my opinion, of course, but the damage has already been done. Hindsight is 2020. Well, I guess the best way of looking at it, this guy called Michael, who's posted about it publicly and gave a brief description of what supposedly happened with that footage and where it came from. Well, unknown, but at least revealing certain characters and positions of people within the footage. If it was that bad or damaging, surely the FBI would have told Michael to delete his post or to disappear, or he would have been told off, and that hasn't happened. So obviously Michael hasn't done that much wrong at this moment in time, one way of looking at it. Pam says, what damage do you feel has been done? Sincere question. You seem to be well informed and your comments often have good points. I felt it was good to do it in the manner he did, so I think it would be helpful for you to explain. Okay. The area where a lot of these people reside are policed by questionable LE. There are a lot of individuals who literally think they're above the law and take matters into their own hands whenever team. LE couldn't care less in other words, allow it to happen or allow it to just fade away. So to put it out there that there are certain individuals who have info or details that's putting a dying X on their foreheads, I'm fully aware of certain people who just can't be trusted, and that includes certain people who claim to care. Noah's case is the big story, but there's an even bigger story running concurrently that's getting ready to pop like an infected boil, and we don't need further attention to that. You have to trust that the FBI has already been aware, because they certainly have been made aware repetitively, It doesn't hurt to continue to inform the FBI just to reinforce the LE in the area have not been playing well. Yeah. Sheriff Jeremiah Wilson already came out publicly in the various discussion groups wanting justice for Noah, but it's too late for him because he had gotten called out about forgetting to pass on pertinent details to the OSBI, etc. He's just wanting to save his ass. Next, other LE agencies, OHP, Oklahoma Highway Patrol, same thing. Script already written, can't be edited to fit in details that screw up the script. It's never a good idea to call out people with details about screw up the script. It'd be nice for people holding valuable information to feel safe and secure and not give any questionable assholes reasons to try anything. So, does all this mean nothing is going to happen about any of this because everybody is dirty? No, it means some people need to keep their big mouths shut to make sure certain people feel safe and let the FBI do their work. Well, I guess you could argue it's too late now, but if it really was a problem, this post would have been deleted by now, right? And if the FBI was already made aware of this video, like weeks ago, well, when Michael reached out to him, surely the FBI should have said, yes, we know, but can you please take down your post? And that hasn't happened, so obviously it's not that big of a problem. Michael says, the one person I know for sure has it, will not share it, and has now blocked me. I don't understand why this important evidence is being hidden. Right, so there is one person that definitely has the video and they have blocked Michael. Who could that person be? Is it the individual that actually secretly recorded it at the time? Or is it just a individual that got a hold of that video? I wonder. And why would they have blocked you? Is it because they're not happy that you've posted it public in terms of the description? But then again, for Michael to talk about it in the first place would mean that individual that's blocked Michael may have exchanged details in the background, or that individual did actually publicly post it and then deleted it afterwards. Can I ask how you know it exists? Once again, a very important question, not answered yet. Michelle, is it being hidden or kept confidential? What else? Well, then turn their asses in, covering up a possible homicide. Yes, this. And once again, no bloody questions answered. I mean, because they're under no obligation. Contact FBI. Yeah, done. So whenever anyone says to Michael, have you seen it for yourself? Michael doesn't respond. I mean, if you're going to give the explanation of who was somewhat involved in the footage, 4 people, this person, that detail given, and some additional talk as well, and mentioning publicly that you're receiving lawsuit threats, just by simply saying that you've seen the video, how bad of a position does that put you in? Just a question. If it didn't put you in a bad situation anymore, as you already are, and it didn't harm the case, then there's no harm in saying that you saw the video, or you saw a portion of it, right? We got Casey. Are you looking for the shower video again? Uh-oh. It's a video taken at the scene when finding Noah. An alleged video. Someone saw it, and I doubt they just made it up about what they saw. This is not the place for games. Someone saw it, and then you got Michael talking about it. Same person? I wonder. What's your favourite? I prefer not to share. Ooh, hold on. You're preaching to the wrong choir, girl. Ooh, okay. This information should not have been stated on Facebook. This is by Brenda, the same individual prat that falsely labelled my YouTube channel as being a podcast. No, it's not a podcast. It's a YouTube channel. Okay? What video? These people know they'll be in much less trouble if they just come forwards. I think too late now. It's dragged on enough. Anita says, why don't you give contact information of who/where person needs to send you, say they blocked you? So they aren't likely to send it to you, so you give info of where to send it. Are they even seeing your post if they blocked you? Probably not. How about someone who they haven't blocked make a similar post? Who is it? Give me a name or initials, and I'll ask to see it. Okay. Why doesn't just everyone that has videos send copies to the FBI, news sites, and send to other people to get this case resolved as soon as possible? Yeah, why are they toying around? Yeah, that really doesn't help. If everyone's innocent and it was just a simple accident, then why stall it? Why drag it out? Why drop breadcrumbs? Why tease? It's not necessary. Anything else? Are we reaching the end of the comments? I don't know. Why would LE need the original video? To verify it's real? To verify the date, the time, the timestamp? Because the timestamp and dates can be altered with alternative copies if they've been saved, edited, adjusted. Have you seen it with your own eyes? No answer once again. Goodness, I attend my nephew's birthday party for a few hours and I miss. I know. Lots of stuff can happen in a short space of time, right? That pissed me there. Although we haven't seen the footage ourselves, to try and pinpoint the location, to try and make sense of what it could have looked like, that's what we have on screen. We are kind of in the area, basically, round here, as to where Noah's body was found. And then when the other people showed up bit by bit. Now, was there a key timestamp, a specific timestamp given by Michael, by the footage itself? No. Early hours of the morning, but maybe at a much earlier time than anticipated. Before or after 5:53 when the truck driver reported it? Not too sure, to be honest. Or could it have been a bit later? Just seems a bit weird. I mean, 5:15 was when Jack Newton got back to the house and informed people. Jack Newton also said at 4 in the morning, that's the time of when Noah passed away. So was Jack there before anyone else? At some point it would come across that way based off what he knows and the time of death. Because no other time of death has been given. Not even the autopsy report, the official one, hasn't given a time of death. So that's interesting. I'm surprised it's not been followed up more with Jack Newton there. As for Kaden Pressy, well, that would have been after 5:15. Spent a couple of minutes searching for his other shoe, couldn't find it, got into the vehicle with some other guys, drove down to this area here, and would have seen the body that would have come up from down that way, as you see. Yeah. So it'd have been round here. How close exactly? Not too sure. Awfully on the other side of the road to drive on down because, the way the US is. Parked up, getting out, getting as close as they could to the body, the scene, and then ordered to leave the area 2 to 5 minutes later. But at least when Kaden Pressy was there, at the scene right now, what we see on screen right now, Kaden Pressy saw the black shorts on Noah Presgrove's body. It was described by Michael that leaked video footage showed that Noah Presgrove was wearing black shorts. But then shortly afterwards, the police guy removed the shorts. Now, Kaden Pressy didn't mention anything about that because likely Kaden Pressy, when ordered to leave the area, as soon as he left, maybe the police guy then decided to remove the shorts. But if Kaden Pressy and the group of guys were ordered to leave the scene, who else was left on site? Well, the police guy, as described by Michael, the volunteer firefighter, another kind of official person, and 2 clothed individuals, whatever that means. 2 clothed or clothed individuals, I've no clue what that means. General public, strangers, those 2 other individuals unknown. Why are they allowed to be at the scene, but the likes of Kaden Pressy and the boys can't? They're ordered back, but the 2 other individuals aren't. So there's 4 people in the video. Are you saying there's 4 people in front of the camera, meaning the 5th person is behind it, holding it? And who would that 5th person be, right? Now, you can go up and down the road, of course. Would there be any indications or signs of anything? Well, being honest, it's not exactly up to date, this satellite imagery, right? Because if it was up to date, you would see a cross just in front of the railroad track, and obviously there's no cross because this is outdated. This could be like 2022 possibly. I mean, what's that yellow line? Oh, it's nothing relevant. But we are definitely in the area, in case you're wondering. There's some signs there, but I think that's just to do with the railroad. In this area, as you see, going across the ground, body found along this area. Police guy nearby, removing the shorts off Noah's body. Kaden Pressy last record seeing shorts on Noah's body before being told to leave, and then whatever happened, shorts removed, taken away. Were they replaced? Were they folded? Well, the report said white shorts. So that would imply that if it's true that in the footage, the hidden footage, that the police guy removed Noah's black shorts, replaced them with white shorts and folded them nearby, where did those white shorts come from? How did the police guy get a hold of them? And is that police guy aware of Caleb Newton supposedly having Noah's teeth in his pocket? Are they all in on it together? It would come across that way, supposedly. Very weird, isn't it? And why would an official person, the authority, such as a police guy, why would that one individual or on the whole group of police, why would they need to tamper with evidence and adjust it? Because either they are directly involved themselves and responsible, or they know someone connected with someone who they are looking out for and trying to protect. It's the only way it goes. Are we sure that that video is 100% true and relevant to the case? Well, we've not seen the video ourselves, and when people have tried asking questions, they've not all been answered. So we're just basing it off the theme today, and I'll do my best to make the title as appropriate as possible, okay? But you can always let me know your thoughts down below. But you can just imagine it, you know, still fairly dark, right? Because it's morning time, early on, time of the season, so to take in mind. Nearby, and you got someone stood recording secretly. Unknown individual, party goer or somebody else. Stranger, passerby, who knows? Where would they have been standing? Were they standing on the opposite side of the road? On the side of the highway? The side of there? Near that fence? Near the gate? On the other side of the field? No houses or buildings nearby, quite remote and rural, so someone had been passing by. And they stood over this way, looking down here on this side, recording the 4 individuals stood about. Now, what quality was the video footage? Because if it was taken on mobile and, you know, early hours of the morning and it's dark, how well does it pick up? Most of the time, not that well. It can be a bit blurry. Could be a bit too dark, could be a bit grainy. If you got a professional camera with better lighting, it can work. But take in mind, if it was a hidden recording, was it done by the side of their pocket or trouser leg? Were they holding the camera, the phone up, or was it by the side of them to make it look discreet so it didn't appear suspicious? You get what I'm saying? It seems to be going across that basis. If it's hidden, little secret recording here and there, the quality tends to be limited. The angles are limited. And if the quality is hard to see, is it easy to identify? Will it be linkable to the case? I mean, maybe the original timestamp and the date, the time, the month, yes. But as for, would you be able to identify the area, the surrounding place? Because there's no lights. You'd have to be relying on the light source of your phone if you got a flash on. But then that would give it away, give your identity away, and you could get in trouble on the spot. If it wasn't for that lighting, it would have to be the lighting of maybe a truck or police car, things like that with the lights on. But how clear would it be? You know, like what we see here, it's very clear, isn't it? Because it's daytime. It was taken with a professional camera. Google, Street View, of course it's going to be clear. 360 degrees, you can zoom in, you can zoom out. But a mobile phone is limited. And especially nighttime or early morning, phone quality cameras are very limited. Things can change with time, but you go back to 2023, certain models of phones compared to now, there could be differences. You might have better cameras now, but you may have not back then. So you got to understand that. So even if the footage is true to exist, how clear is the footage? Is it clear, HD? Is it in 4K, 60 frames? Is it 360, 720p? Pixels? I wonder. It's very important. You want the footage to be as clear as possible to be able to identify it and even identify human faces so you know who it really is. If the faces are blurred or very unclear and the voices are distorted, then how can you pin it onto anyone? You can say, yeah, people are present and there are dodgy things going on, but if you can't identify the people, what more can you do? Unless there's other ways about it. So, let me know your thoughts. Are you surprised by this or not? If I had to give my genuine opinion and reaction to all of this coming about, if you put aside the threats which have just followed as of today, you put that aside, I could be skeptical, I could be questioning, okay, there is footage, but how did it come about? Was it posted on Facebook on a specific page or just someone's page, on Facebook Messenger? For people to know about it and to talk about it and detail it, describe it, surely they would have had to have seen it. The fact that Michael didn't say yes or no, but he did say, I can't say too much, I've already said enough, would indicate yes, he has seen it, but he can't do any more. When you tie in the factor of these lawsuits and threats, the fact that I've been threatened in a way because of my videos being threatened to be taken down, which has been resolved now because I did nothing wrong in the first place, but what it showed was people made false reports about my content because they're desperate to silence me. They're desperate, they're panicking, they're scuttling around like little rats, okay? That could be the equivalent, but on a more severe level with this Michael, or whoever they're called, individual, that has obviously revealed and talked about something much more important and serious, which can put others in the limelight, in which those don't want that because they're responsible. The same people that could be filing lawsuit threats towards Michael could be the same people that tried silencing my videos. Maybe my videos, my coverage wasn't as damning as what Michael has been talking about. Different severe levels are dealt with in different ways of varying levels of resistance. So obviously if you get very close to the truth and you got very sensitive information, you're probably going to be dealt with in a more severe way as for threats. But if you're just poking about a little bit, you might just get a little warning by some dodgy person in the background saying, move away, you don't want any trouble, right? Things like that. It can vary, but do the people vary, or is it just the same groups hovering about in the background? Because like if we're talking about party goers, when you look at the social medias, you look at the photos, besides honouring Noah, which most or a fair few haven't from the looks of it at least, or some haven't on certain profiles, but you know, they're getting on with life and doing whatever they do in life, don't seem to faze them, yet then, you know, are they the same people still monitoring in the background? Are they leading a double life? How did they have all that time to be monitoring and stalking all the profiles online, but also getting on with life and posting photos and having fun? Or is it two separate types of people? The parents who are more so in the background lurking? I wonder. All I would say is, you can call this breaking news, you can call it quite shocking. The fact that a specific description was given and a specific number of people seen in the footage and the roles of those individuals would highlight there's a possibility that the recorded footage is somewhat clear enough to be able to identify the uniforms and roles of those said individuals. That's a positive, that's a heads up there, at least. I would say, can't get too hyped up, can't get too excited at this moment because it depends how it's handled with and where it goes. And if it is reinforced within the case, because whilst they're saying 150% credibility and reliance and trustworthiness, and yes, it seems very credible and all positive and confident, and yet they say alleged and supposedly, and it still needs confirming, there's still a little bit of uncertainty. And obviously when there's a little bit of uncertainty, even just a little bit, can be a bit of a problem. But if people are being honest with their language and wording, it is what it is. I get it. I mean, I've used certain language too, right? That's like protect myself and protect the case, yeah. And in the case with Michael, if he's not given any direct names, should he be threatened with lawsuits, yes or no? And if Michael is threatened in that way, how are the people who've got the footage going to be treated then, if supposedly those in the background know who has the footage and who hasn't? I wonder. Are the people in the background going to start questioning one another, saying, at what time were you there at the scene? You know, were you there recording? Were you there recording? Was Kaden Pressy there recording? You know, questions could all come about, interrogating one another in the background, if that was the case. But, you know, with the patterns of people dying in the past, and it's like mysterious circumstances and outcomes, possible payouts too, here and there, it's not exactly a good look. And as we said, it were familiar names what keep popping up and somehow in the wrong place at the wrong time with the death of yet another individual, such as Caleb Newton. Not a good look, is it? Caleb Newton kind of caught up in that boat accident in 2020. 7-year-old girl lost her life, fell into the water, unknown as to how. Bit weird. surely there was enough people on board to see what happened to the girl, right? Because I think there was about like 9 or 10 people on board. Surely at least one of them would have seen the girl maybe fall in or pushed in, or seen Caleb possibly driving recklessly if he was drunk, right? And then you got Caleb Newton tied up in the Noah Presgrove case because his name's popped up in the bloody fishing trip with Jack Newton, responsible or protecting someone who he knows, who he loves, maybe. And then in between that, if it did happen in between or if it happened before 2020, some ATV with a guy called Herrera who's connected with the Newtons, or with someone that is connected to the Newtons. I've not found an article on that at this moment. Someone did say, and here's mentioned the full name, said, search that up. I did, couldn't find it. That's why links, URL links to websites are necessary and important, especially if you're outside of the US and you're searching on Google. So if people do have links, feel free to post it down below. Maybe in the future I can do a comparison video of all the different deaths with the reoccurring named individuals. That would be interesting, right? And maybe go from there. I think we'll leave it there for now, though. You know, if you did manage to engage in the live chat, that's good to see. I do believe that this was a live premiere because of the length of the video at the end of the day. Leave your comments, leave your thoughts down below to let me know your reaction to hearing of this supposed breaking news and hidden leaked footage. I call it hidden leaked footage because it's kind of implied as it was leaked, people got word of it, the odd person saw it, as we were able to give a detailed description about it, and then it was taken away again, hence why the likes of Michael said, could you pass it on to me privately in the background? You know, something like that. That's how it comes across. So leave your thoughts down below and questions. You want to catch up on my previous videos, my full playlist, click on the I symbol top right corner of the screen. If you can't see it or you don't want to click on it or if it doesn't work, scroll down on this video, click on the video description and you'll find the links there as well. It's all tied together. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Feel free to share and like this video so more people hear about it and from my perspective and viewpoint and opinion. And as well, a little bit of a map analysis as well, so you see it visually. It's the closest thing what we have right now compared to the supposed video footage, my map analysis and street view of trying to depict what it could have looked like visually at the scene with limited material. Okay. And if you want to keep up to date with my videos, you want those notifications if you are busy so you can be alerted when the next video or community post comes about. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. I think it's on the left-hand side, that button, and make sure the notifications are all turned on. And even if you are already subscribed, just double check to make sure notifications are turned all on, because there is a chance that YouTube can unsub people, can turn off notifications, can even silence comments. Take in mind, YouTube have removed my own comments on my own channel. Silly, isn't it? I'm also aware sometimes some comments end up in the held for review section. I don't know why, but I do try and check regularly, and if there is one, I do approve it and then it will show up afterwards. People are able to post links now in my comment section. Hallelujah. I'm surprised YouTube haven't silenced that because that's what they used to in the past, but it seems okay at this moment. So that all being said and done, we'll see what happens next, of course. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.